Hello, Elizabeth here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a rhinestone Barbie tumbler. With the new movie coming out, I am seeing Barbie merch everywhere and I am living for this hot pink color. I'm gonna walk you through everything step by step. I started with a plain stainless steel tumbler and covered it with a sheet of hot pink vinyl. This application wasn't perfect and there were quite a few bubbles in the vinyl, but you won't be able to see them through the rhinestones, and the vinyl will give a nice solid base color and avoid the look of any gaps in between the stones. I cut this Barbie logo out of white vinyl using my Cricut machine and applied it to the tumbler on top of the pink vinyl. Then I used a roller cutter to trim off the top and bottom edges of the pink vinyl. Next, I applied a coat of UV resin all over the tumbler. You could also use 2-part resin for this, I just prefer UV resin because it cures quickly. Typically, I don't coat my vinyl in resin before rhinestoning over it. For example, if I was just applying the Barbie decal and no other vinyl, I probably wouldn't have done this. But because the entire tumbler was coated in vinyl, my husband suggested that it might peel sometime in the future and take all of the rhinestones off with it. So I decided to play it safe and seal it in with some resin to make sure it's nice and sturdy. For this project, I used hot pink rhinestones in the sizes SS6, SS12, and SS20, and white rhinestones in 2mm, 3mm, and 4mm sizes. I like to use a wax pencil that can be sharpened to pick up and place my stones. My favorite glue for rhinestone projects is called Gem Tack by the brand Beacon, and I transfer it into a precision tip bottle. There are links to the products I used in the description of this video. I started by filling in the Barbie logo with the white rhinestones, and I filled the spaces between the letters with pink rhinestones at the same time, to get my spacing as precise as possible. The outer edges of each letter are the most important thing to outline in a tightly packed straight line. You can leave a bit of space between the stones on the inner sections, but pay close attention to this outer edge to make sure the logo looks nice and crisp. If the letters look messy, the whole project will look messy, so really take your time here and make use of your smallest size stones. They do take longer to place, but it's worth it for the end result. Once the logo was entirely covered in stones, I went around the outer edges of the whole logo with the smallest hot pink stones. For the remainder of the tumbler, I used mostly the size SS20 pink stones and arranged them in a honeycomb pattern. I started by applying a line of them all the way around the top edge of the tumbler, overlapping the edge of the pink vinyl, but leaving a small gap before the rim so as not to interfere with the closure of the lid. This row sets up the guide for the honeycomb pattern on the entire tumbler, so it's important to make sure it's nice and level with even spacing all the way around. When you get to the end of the row, if there's not quite enough space for one more stone, just work your way back for a few stones, nudging them over to leave a tiny bit of space between each one so there are no noticeably large gaps. In the next row, place each stone in the cracks between the stones of the previous row. This will be repeated in each subsequent row, which is what creates the honeycomb pattern. At this point, I find it easiest to place little dots of glue in each spot where the stones will be placed. This helps you not to waste any extra glue or make a mess. Once you meet the logo, you will need to start adding some smaller stones to fill in the gaps and blend seamlessly into the honeycomb pattern. You can place a few of the SS20 stones on either side and then fill in the gaps with the smaller stones. But it's important after you fill the little gaps to continue the SS20 stones in the honeycomb pattern all the way around the rest of that row. You may find that after doing that, your SS20 stones aren't fitting in perfectly, in which case you may need to rearrange those smaller filler stones next to the logo and move the SS20 stones over a bit. The spacing is very precise, so even if it looks like your stones are sitting perfectly, they may be ever so slightly closer to one side or the other, which will make one of the gaps in the row too small for an SS20 stone. So for this reason, I highly recommend that you continue each row all the way around the circumference of the cup before working your way down the logo. Once you get to the bottom of the logo, again you will need to fill in the final gaps around the logo with your small pink stones. At this point, I found it easiest to do all of the SS20 stones on each side and then continue the SS20s to meet in the middle, leaving a bit of space below the logo to fill in after. So this row has essentially created a new honeycomb guide with the SS20s all the way around, which I can follow for the next few rows to finish off the bottom of the cup. And that last row again overlaps the edge of the vinyl, but left a bit of space to make sure the tumbler will sit flat on a table. Once you're done, you want to let your tumbler sit untouched for 7 days to fully cure. And then you can wash the tumbler to remove any wax or glue residue and make it super sparkly. I have another video tutorial demonstrating how to wash a rhinestone tumbler if you've never done it before. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment letting me know what you would like to see next. See you later!